Still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff, even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm going to keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause that's the bottom line. The Stone Cold
sucks off.
Everybody dies.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it.
Woo! Yes, sir! What the rock is cooking!
Now, welcome to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
He's back! Yes, I am. Are we talking about Speedy being blank again? That's when you're talking about being back.
No, not you.
It could go either way. It could be I'm back, yes, full time, or it could be Speedy's back on being blank again. What's up, everybody? Welcome, wrestling fans out there. You're listening and watching us here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Off the Mat, the only wrestling talk show right here on WWSRN. Joining you every Friday from 5:30 to 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. A lot to get to tonight. Alex Lowe's, he is not here. Lyle and myself will be taking charge of the show tonight. And, of course, Speedy Petey on the board, producing as well. And, of course, I'll introduce my co-host, Mr. Lyle Gillen. How you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful. It's really exciting to have the original duo, the original tag team, the founders of Takedown Breakdown, once again back on this show.
That's right. And, of course, we got to thank Speedy Petey as well for producing, helping out, as always. Remember, you could check out our show. It's very simple, and it's free as well. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple Store, type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store, type in Worldwide Sports. You can also call us at 203-903-8271, 203-903-8271. You can check us out on the app as well. You download it. Check out all of our show content, our show schedules, our articles that us here at the network. We write different topics, different things. If you have any clips or you want to rewatch an episode, you can do that as well. Also, if you are driving, you can listen to us on the audio feed. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, everything. Also, check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com. We also have the website and everything of that sorts. We're going to get to the Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns stuff a little bit later. We're going to get to some AEW talk later. We're going to get to some Impact, Ring of Honor stuff going on. We're going to get to an article that was very interesting that it did come out about involving Triple H, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And, of course, Mickie James and her involvement in the Royal Rumble and all that. But, of course, we need to start with the big, massive elephant in the room. And that is what came out this past week, where lawsuits were being filed back and forth. It's just craziness going on. It's something that I never thought I'd see another wrestling company do, but they did do it. And that was MLW filing a lawsuit against WWE, pretty much for essentially, in simple terms, how they treat the wrestlers. They sign wrestlers and then they release them, and it's just very unfair how they treat talent. I know Lyle wants to get into this a little more specific. I figured I'd explain. If you've never seen The Office, when Michael Scott asks, he asks Oscar the accountant how to do something, and he goes, "Okay, now explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old." That's essentially what I was trying to explain to simpler terms, but Lyle's going to dive a little bit deeper into the whole situation. He's been keeping a lot of tabs on it. So, Lyle, the floor is yours. I'm actually going to go on Twitter right now and try and actually retweet our show right now on the Off the Mat page. So go for it.
Surely. Okay. So pretty much they filed an antitrust lawsuit against WWE for attempting a monopoly. What they are claiming WWE did is, now, one, we'll remember a while back, Sean Ross Sapp reported that MLW was in a agreement with Fox's streaming service Tubi, I believe it's called.
Really quick, not to cut you up, but by the way, Sean Ross is one of the most legit sources out there in the wrestling industry. So usually what he says is very true. But go on.
And his report was that the day before they were supposed to announce it, WWE pressured Fox into dropping that agreement with MLW. And as we know now, MLW does not have an agreement with Tubi, so they did. Well, when MLW was trying to get onto Vice TV, they contacted Vice after it was announced that Vince McMahon was not happy and wanted them to drop MLW. Now, Vice then went to MLW Court Power and told them that that's an antitrust violation. And so now they're suing WWE for attempting a monopoly on the wrestling industry, which they could win this all they want. But in my opinion, they have been the sole major company for so long that in a lot of people's minds, it's already a monopoly. No matter what anyone else does, because they've been around for so long, they do have that stranglehold where they can kind of try and manipulate people. And there's enough people out there that they're going to listen to that manipulation. Because that's what they do. They did it to AEW a bunch of times. They tried to manipulate the fan base. It's just their strategy when it comes to other wrestling companies. And some people are just so numb to it. And they let it go. And I know there are people that are watching this right now going, oh, well, why would they care about MLW? Because that's what WWE does. They have this fear of another company getting big and growing. It's just, it's something wrong with Vince McMahon. And I don't know. We haven't had Discovery yet. For you people who don't know what that is a part of a lawsuit, essentially where they share all the evidence and they do testimonies, and that's before you get to the courtroom. And generally when there's a settlement, it's after Discovery. When a team is there and they see all the evidence and they see everything, they have an idea where it's going to go. If they know, okay, yeah, we're fucked, they're going to go and they're going to try and get a settlement. And I don't know if we'll get to that point, but WWE's strategy is going to be to stall, and hopefully MLW runs out of money. But what's probably going to happen is they'll get to Discovery and they will settle. Hopefully not. Hopefully they get to a court and MLW wins, because that would be monumental. And it would be very healthy for the wrestling industry. But WWE's practices of trying to stomp on every other promotion and treat them like they're beneath them, that needs to change. And hopefully this is a step in that direction.
So I made a mistake then. I thought it also involved how they treat superstars, and they also are being released.
What you're thinking of is part of it is how they are trying to how they're treating MLW talent, how they're trying to pick them and convince them to leave their contracts.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. That has nothing to do with what WWE does with releasing talent. It has nothing to do with that. It's what WWE is doing to try and to MLW talent, trying to get them to want to get out of their contracts to join them. Now I've never heard that. I have not heard that. If MLW is claiming that and they have proof of it, that's a big deal.
Okay, so I made a mistake. So then I made a mistake in reading it. Then I was trying to, I guess, read it. And that's going to lead into our conversation we have a little bit later on with Triple H. And how he was told to do something by the WWE in regards to the G1 Supercard show, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But it actually segues into, again, the manipulation that WWE tries to have on other promotions and other companies, and everything of that sort. The only thing is, and I could say this, is Vince McMahon has been known that when he does get sued by anything, whether it's deaths, with steroids, with anything, because he has such a good law team, and you have to remember, Vince McMahon is pretty much he's a billionaire, so he can afford to what he wants. He's going to get the best law team out there, and it's like you said, Lyle, that their hope is from WWE is that MLW is eventually going to just run out of money be done with the court dates and say, all right, that's it. We're done. We're tapped out. We can't afford this anymore. Because, I mean, we're not going to deny this. Let's be real. MOW in regards to a promotion, a pay scale as in regards to how much it's worth is here, and WWE is a global empire. Is up there here.
To be fair to MLW, we don't know what their contract is with Vice TV.
Well, it's not, but I'm saying no. I'm saying no. In regards to how much a company's worth, though, WWE is worth a lot more than MLW.
Yes, very much.
I mean, WWE. Forget WWE being a wrestling company. I mean, they're on the. They're in the.
They're not a wrestling company anymore. They're an entertainment company.
They're an entertainment company.
They're the difference. They're not in the same.
They're in the New York Stock Exchange. They
make movies. They make movies. They make reality TV shows. They do so many different things that are not just wrestling. It's just a different type of company that they are.
No, I mean, it's a matter of, like I said, they're in the New York Stock Exchange. They're a global empire. This is what WWE is. I am curious to see how MOW is going to be able to keep up with the. Listen, I'm intrigued by this whole thing. This is something that very rarely happens. Nobody usually has the balls to go toe to toe in court with Vince or his brand, because it's, again, a lot of it is just the legal fees.
I have a question for you. Do you think Tony Khan could help out Court Bauer to try and if he needs money for this?
It's not a bad idea, because you look at what. You think about what Tony Khan. Sorry, the Undertaker's calling.
Cameo.
We have
a guest coming in, everybody. We paid a lot of money for this one.
It's interesting that you say that, because you look at what MLW has produced for AEW, right? Like, MJF is arguably the biggest heel in the wrestling business today. He came from MLW.
They don't get along, though.
But I'm saying
Court Bauer and Tony Khan don't get along. They're not on good terms.
So that's the thing. But then that's the thing. Like, why would Tony Khan then help Court Bauer?
I'm just a question.
No. Listen, it's not a bad question. It's a great question to ask. But I think, unless like maybe an MJF or even like a Brian Pillman Jr. who's from MLW and says to Tony, "Hey, listen, this could go a long way. Maybe you want to help out or something like that."
I think the chances of it happening are slim to none.
No, I don't think Tony wants to get involved in this. Listen, I think Tony's.
I don't even think MJF and Brian Pillman would. I don't think they have the best relationship with them either, because they were contracted with MLW when they signed with AEW.
I mean, that's the thing. So
because their contracts were listed, said in there that they couldn't sign with WWE and Impact. Did not mention AEW. So AEW took advantage of that and signed MJF, and they signed Brian Pillman, and that is the reason why they don't get along, because they came in and took their talent like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, Tony's had enough going on as it is in the public eye lately. I don't know if he really wants to get involved in something like this. That doesn't
give a shit. He does not give a crap at all.
No, I know he might not, but maybe, and at this point, he might say, "Listen, this doesn't concern me. I don't want to be a part of this."
If he cared, do you think he would have said what he said about the Big Swole interview?
I sometimes wonder if Tony has a PR team that maybe he might need sometimes.
No, I think he's fine. I think people are too dramatic on social media.
Well, I mean, look, we had who did we have on last week? We had Tisha. We had on last week, and everybody had a different opinion on it. And we
I think what he said about
Swole.
Saying she wasn't good. That was uncalled for. But I don't know if he was drunk because it was New Year's Eve.
No, I think it was.
I don't know. I don't know if he just was upset about it. But the part about not having diversity, I don't agree with that. I think AEW's problem, and it could be a little bit of an illusion, is that their main event scene is the only part that's not diverse. Everywhere else is very diverse. You look through it. Women's division, the first women's champion was Riho. Second one was Nyla Rose. She's Black, Spanish, and transgender. And then the third one was Asian. And now you have the first white
TBS champion.
TBS champion is Jade Cargill, Black.
Which, by the way, I will say this about Jade, and we'll get to AEW a little bit later.
She sucks.
She needs a lot of work on her talent. She's got the. We'll talk later about her. I'm intrigued by her, but she has a lot to work on.
Then you have the tag division. It was now that they had very long title reigns. Besides SCU, what they had for one of the first tag team champions was Scorpio Sky. After that, it was who? It was Kenny and Hangman. FTR, the Bucks, and then it was the Lucha Bros.
Mm-hmm.
So they have had some diversity. Then you have the TNT title, which now technically Sammy Guevara, who people don't talk about as much, but he's Cuban American. He's a minority, so that's also more diversity. He falls under that branch. The only real area I would say is the main event scene. And if you think about it, I don't think they're not wanting to be diverse. It's just they are trying to build that title to be prestigious. And that's why everyone who has had it has had a very long reign. Kenny Omega had like a 1-year title reign. So did Moxley. Jericho had a
they don't believe in paper champions. That's what it is.
It's not that. It's just if at the beginning you're having paper champions, it kind of waters down the title. They want it to be more the IWGP title. That it's going to be longer title reigns. They don't want it to be like how the W title is, where it'll be a long title reign for them is 3 months. Like what Big E just had, that's a long title reign for them. It's just they're trying to build something, and it's just different. And you look at young talent that they are bringing up. It's the same pattern. I mentioned this last week. You had Darby, and it's the first guys who came in who got the initial push. They got past that wave. Then it was guys who came in afterwards. Powerhouse Hobbs, Dante Martin. Those guys are getting their push, but it's based off of who came in first. They had to earn their way around, and which is fine. That's how it should be. I don't think anyone should get into a company and immediately get promoted. Which is the same thing in life. If you started at a company and a month later you're promoted all the way to the top, unless you were like an established big name teacher coming into your school, that's not normal. You have to earn your way wherever you go, and which is why I'm okay with them taking them in and them earning their way, and taking a little bit, and then building them up and making them bigger name. Like how now look at Powerhouse Hobbs, he's doing great. Match between him and Dante Martin was good. Now they've built them up very well. I think they're the next one to get pushed really up there. I don't think they have a diversity issue. It's a maybe more so what she said, where it's a structural issue, because every single segment, if you break it down, has somebody who's in that main event cluster that's in the segment. If they're not necessarily, there's an echo. I don't know if it's coming from you, Josh, but
I don't know. Well, because I'm trying to log into Facebook to just get the comment section going.
Oh, okay. But
sorry.
If you look at every segment, main event cluster.
Okay, yeah, here it is.
That's in the segment. You could unmute that, please.
I already got it. It's done. Ignore it.
Okay. Every segment has someone who's in that main event cluster, so it does look and appear like they have a diversity issue. So I would agree that.
Why is that?
Every segment.
I got it. Okay. Go on.
That it's a structural issue, not a diversity issue, because every segment they're structuring to have somebody who is a big name in it and a draw, and unfortunately that main event cluster is where there is a diversity issue in that one part. I think if they took other guys in the main event, the mid card, the tag team, and the women's division, gave them more time, which is probably one of the biggest complaints about AEW, and it's fair, is that those parts of their roster don't get enough time. If they gave them more time on Dynamite, I don't think the complaint about diversity would be around as much. But then you're going to have the people who are going to complain, oh, well, now you don't have Bryan Danielson and CM Punk getting as much time. They're wasting them, blah, 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 blah. So they're kind of in a rut, or in a place where it's tough for them. They have to pick one, and I think that's why it's a good thing why they have Rampage. But they're trying to balance it, and I think they've done a good job. But
really quick, Christopher Brown says, and I want to get to this a little bit later. It is a great topic, and I'm surprised I didn't say anything about it. That's on me. He said, "Hey guys, something I read this morning that may be a little bit of surprise to you if you haven't heard it yourselves yet. It's being said in some circles that Corey Graves has been medically cleared since 20,
I've heard that,
which is awesome, by the way. I'm very glad that he has been medically cleared. Good for him. Seriously, the guy's been through so much in his life. If you never saw the ESPN E60 special about him, it's a very traumatic, tumultuous life that he has lived since he had the concussions. Graves has been medically cleared since 2020, and his brief flirtation with the 24/7 title may be a dry run as a possible surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble, which would be kind of cool. That's me saying kind of cool. Personally, if he's good enough to do a match, I want to see him in a pre-show on a night 1 or 2 Mania match against Pat McAfee. That's funny.
That'd be entertaining. I can
picture him doing that. You know why? I will say this, and we'll get to Corey Graves a little bit later, but it is awesome that because the thing about Corey Graves is you got to remember he was a very underrated superstar when he was in NXT. I mean, he was a tag team champion with who's known as Pac. He was Neville at the time. He was tag team champions with him in NXT. And if you never saw the Corey Graves special on ESPN, it's worth a watch. He's been through so much in his life, considering the concussions really made him very depressed and anxious and everything like that. He say what you will, he's one of the better commentators in wrestling today, and especially as a heel, he's great as a heel. But I think his goal would obviously be go back in the ring. As far as going back to what you were saying about everything, I mean, we talked about, listen, and we brought it up last week with Tishel as well. It's a matter of, I know people have their opinions, and Tony is allowed to have his opinion because it is his company.
That's how it came off. It came off like he might have taken the interview the wrong way and took it as a shot because, people say that all the time to him on Twitter and he ignores it. So when one of his talent took it, he probably took that as a shot. And I mean, he probably wasn't happy and spoke out of emotion, and he shouldn't have. But,
and the thing of it is just my opinion on it and the way Tony is sometimes with the media. Sometimes I think you might have a different opinion. That's totally fine. Agree to disagree, as we always say on here. It's allowed. I think Tony needs work with the media. My personal take on it, like, especially, and it's kind of interesting. Like I always see, and again, we were talking about the CM Punk situation, right? When he did the post show after the Chicago, when Punk made his return back to wrestling, and there were like 8 or 9 random ass different blogs that were asking questions, and CM Punk was like, "This is a real blog." Like he didn't believe these are real blogs. It was kind of weird when you look and Tony was like, yeah, they're good people. And you see with the two of them, that was how they were interacting in some of the questions. Because there were a lot of, to me, I think Tony has at times, I think kind of can rub some things the wrong way. But again, he's very new to running a wrestling company. He's very new to it. He's only been doing it for a couple of years now. He's not an expert on this yet. It's going to take a long time for somebody to be an expert at something like this. You're trying to run an entire brand, which is not easy to do. Not to mention he runs his soccer organization, which we know how that's going. And has somewhat of a title with the Jaguars. His dad runs the Jaguars, which we know how that's going. Which is
runs in the family.
It's apparently not it goes from worse to worse with him. But even when you hear Tony and you hear him having conversations like, and I've always showed you this about it. Like Tony, he seems to be a very awkward guy. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, he's socially awkward.
It's not a bad thing. He comes off as a little awkward to me. Like he could have a conversation, but I don't know with him. I don't know how long the conversation can last.
You know who he reminds me of? You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Alex.
Shut up. I said that. That's you taking that
Did
from
you?
me.
Did you actually say that? I mean, hey, maybe you're just that right. That
No.
my brain thinks it. I don't remember you saying that. You haven't been on the show in forever, so.
And Speedy says Jaguars already interviewed Bill O'Brien for the head coach. Tells you everything you need to know about them. You're 100% accurate. That is 100% true. That's the point. What's the point exactly? I mean, let's be realistic here. I mean, I was one of the first ones that said the Urban Meyer hire was going to be an utter disaster, and it was exactly that. It's Tony can have a conversation. I don't know how long the conversation can last before it goes off the rails. That's just my thinking when I
No,
see it.
I don't agree that he's bad with media at all. I don't agree with that at all.
No, and again,
I think
we agree to disagree. That's allowed.
I think his problem is that he's bad at taking criticism, not necessarily media. It's criticism in general. Because he'll go at it with fans sometimes. He will have incidences that are outside media where it's criticism, and that's really what that big spool thing came from. That's where it came from when he got into something at it was Bully Ray on Busted Open,
which is now why Bully Ray doesn't do the Tony time on Thursdays anymore. Now it's Tommy. Now it's either Mark Henry or Tommy Dreamer that are on the show. He won't come on if Bully's on.
Yeah. And then you have there were like that. It's just it's it's just criticism is his problem, not media. I don't think if they're not being super critical, then I don't think he had the problem at all, or people really notice an issue. Besides, the random ass asshole who goes, "Oh, this guy sucks."
But doesn't that come with the
socially awkward? Blah blah blah. Well,
doesn't that come? That comes with the territory of running a company. I mean, that's just. I mean, I look at it in this perspective. It's going to happen with any company. Listen, New Japan gets insulted. Ring of Honor got insulted. Impact, WWE, they all get insulted. Everybody.
But you know what?
All the time.
He's probably not used to this much.
That's fair. And
that's my assumption, but
he's very new to it. And I think at times his skin, I think definitely needs to get he needs to get a little bit more thick skin at times. I think he does. And again, as I said to you, agree to disagree, as we do. It is what it is. Listen, I think Tony's done a very nice job in a 3-year span of where the company has gone and has become. I think them moving to TBS was a genius move. Because the thing is now, because if you notice now when they're on TBS, they can now get that extended past 10 o'clock time if they need it.
Oh no, they extend into a TNT movie. Ah!
Well, no, now because it was with the NHL, so that's what it was. It was the NHL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the NHL just signed a very, very lucrative contract with TNT. So TNT's going to say, listen, we love AEW, but AEW, NHL.
To be fair, AEW is getting more ratings than NHL on.
It depends what the game. Well, I mean, that's fair, but it was also kind of tougher in the beginning because the NHL wasn't putting games on until after 10 o'clock when AEW was on. They were putting on like the Western Conference teams. Like they only were able to put on Western Conference games, and it was also on Wednesday nights, which is difficult. But now they're able to do 7 o'clock games like they did. Like it was Wednesday, I believe they did Bruins and the Canadians, which is a rivalry that's going to draw, that's going to get people to watch.
Yeah.
So something like that. Like it's basically Turner said, let's help both sides. Let's get them on TBS where they're going to have their ratings. They could have their 8 to 10 window and extend it if they need to. And let's give the NHL what they deserve, which is the very lucrative contract that they signed with us. It's a two-way street. Like where they're trying to make it work both ways for both brands, right? Like this is what they're trying to do. And you still got the NBA on Tuesdays, which of course is their number one dog. That's just what it is. So in the end, I think Turner did a very smart idea. I think is this going to help the NHL? I think it's going to help AEW. But again, we'll see about this MLW stuff. I'm sure this will drag out more. I would not be shocked if there's some sort of settlement unless MLW really, 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 really wants to get this far. I will say that if you're going to try to go pound for pound money wise with the WWE, Court Bauer, I'm saying to you, good luck. You're going to need it because you got to understand Vince McMahon beat a steroid scandal and the Owen Hart death scandal. Those are pretty big scandals. Those are pretty big things. Those are much, much, much bigger scandals than the MLW scandal is. So if you get what
I don't know. You know what's bigger than all of that?
What, the Hulk Hogan one?
No, him trying to hide Ashley Massaro getting raped in Kuwait.
Yep. When they went to when they went away to it was Iraq. They went with the tribute for the troops. Yep. You see what I'm saying? So Court Bauer, listen, we appreciate you trying to do what you're doing. We wish you nothing but the best. Good luck and Godspeed with you, man, because you're gonna need it. Because Vince is gonna hire the best lawyers in the world.
Honestly, I really, really hope that on the next season of Doctor Turn in the Ring, they do the Ashley Massaro thing.
I'm curious how they. I am very curious how the Dark Side does with their next season. I really want them to do the Adrian Adonis death too. When he died when he was driving.
Okay, here's my question to you: if Ric Flair got canceled for shaking his dong around, then what do you think would happen to Vince McMahon if they did that and a whole big giant thing about how he covered up Ashley Massaro getting raped? Do you think he would get canceled? Because I think all the guys who, like I mentioned earlier, are brainwashed. Oh no, it didn't happen. It's bull crap. And defend the hell out of Vince McMahon because the defend WWE people, the E-drones out there, are going to go down there, bend down over, and let
they'll still be
Vince
doing
McMahon fuck him in the ass. Yeah. Well,
they'll still be.
They let Randy Orton say the N-word on Twitch, and they never did anything about it.
They don't say the N-word on live.
Exactly. They don't give a crap.
He said it to John Cena, and Booker T was right there.
Yeah. He did not just say that. Tell me he did not just say that.
So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we are going to get into some AEW Dynamite conversation. We're going to talk about the debut of Brody King. We're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about, I want to get into this, the crowd that night at PNC and seeing the pictures, everything of how pretty empty that place was. Because let's be real here, they've been in Carolina about 50 billion times already. So maybe it's kind of like watered down to Carolina at this point, I guess. We'll get into a little bit more of that conversation, and we'll talk about Hangman Adam Page's next challenger. Did we get it with Lance Archer? That's all coming up, and we'll get to some Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns conversation a little bit later, and why the Royal Rumble card looks great on paper. Can WWE back it up? We'll get into all that when we come back right here on Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela is such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Are you ready?
Now welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
We are back. Well, I'm back. Right there he is. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I'm Josh Silverberg, of course, with Lyle Gillen, Speedy Petey on the board tonight. This is Off the Mat on WWSRN. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple Store, type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store, type in Worldwide Sports Radio. You can check out all of our show articles, our schedules, our content. If you want to watch the show, you can watch it on there. If you want to listen to while you're driving on the audio feed, you certainly can. You can tell a smart speaker to do that too. So on and so forth. Check us out, worldwidesportsradio.com. Good stuff, as well as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Periscope. Check out our website, Off the Mat page as well. It's a lot of great stuff. Alex works really hard on that website, and everything.
He does a phenomenal job.
Yes, he really does. He's busy tonight, but we're taking the charge, and we're going to get to some AEW conversation, and there's a lot to.
That's what you did.
I mean, you know,
conversation.
Yeah, I know. No pun intended. What did you think of the show this week?
I thought it was fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, did you? I found it to be kind of like a fine show. It felt like a filler show, kind of like.
Well, when you're in the middle of a 3 months gap between pay-per-views,
that's what it is.
Yeah, but overall, so it was a fun show. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was a fine. I look at a show like that and I say it's like a filler show. It's like you're trying to get new things started and everything like that. Like Hangman needed a new opponent. Well, he got the returning Lance Archer back, which is, I think, a nice idea. I mean, Lance had been out for a while, especially after that very scary injury he had when jumping off the turnbuckle with his neck and everything like that. It was very, very, very scary. Glad he's okay. I love the new T-shirt that he had, by the way. I think it was awesome.
Don't buy shoes off him.
Yes, don't. That's a hack. Just like don't buy the PlayStations off of the wrestlers too, like Omos and anything like that.
That was bad.
But I the thing that was, I don't know if you saw the pictures of the crowd when Dynamite started. So they had pictures of when Hangman came out at what, like 8:45 around there. He had his promo. And they had and it was a fan that took a picture of when Hangman was in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 80% like nobody there. I guess they might have worked Carolina at this point. I'm thinking.
No, that's not it at all. They sold.
Well, excuse me. Wow,
just under 5K seats. And that's in what arena were they in? Hold on, let me look it up.
They're in PNC, but excuse me, that's not it at all.
PNC.
I mean, there's, I
capacity.
First off, hold on. To say that that's not it at all, I wouldn't go that far. I would say that it might, you might have a different opinion, but to say
okay, so that arena fits 20,000 people,
and there was like maybe 4,000 people there. Maybe
closer to 5.
There was nobody. It was dead.
According to WrestleTix, it was closer to 5,000 people, which is their standard average for what they draw everywhere they go. The problem was that they were at an arena that was way too big for a random Dynamite.
I just think in my eyes,
if you want to say that the last show, because that one was in North Carolina, that might have impacted it, and people might have chosen to go to Battle of the Belts over Dynamite, I would agree with that. I would, because that was hyped up to be the big show, Clash of Champions compared to. That I would agree with, but I'm
going to stick with, and I'm going to stick with my not at all opinion. I'm going to say that I believe that I think they've had about 3 or 4 shows already in Carolina that are within distance of each other. I think a lot of them are within an hour of each other with Raleigh and everything like that. I think they've done a lot of shows already there. They haven't done any West Coast shows. They have yet to do any West Coast shows.
COVID.
But even still, though, I don't even know if Tony is. From what I've heard,
he said he was planning on to in 2022.
That's fine, but like I said, from what I've heard, I heard Tony likes to stay on the East Coast a lot. That's just what I've heard.
He probably will, but he will definitely do West Coast shows. He said he was.
I mean, that would be the smart idea to do, I think. But to me, to see that again, I thought the show was I thought it was a filler show. I thought it was very mediocre. I didn't think there was anything really special about it other than Brody King debuting. And the crowd, there was nobody there, so the crowd was kind of like poo-pooing it. They were terrible.
There was apparently I heard from someone who bought tickets for the show that a couple days after they bought tickets, they sent an email out to everyone that bought tickets saying that they are requiring vaccine. I don't know if they ended up doing that or not, but that's what people were told. That could be why they didn't go. But
I mean,
North Carolina is pretty Republican.
Yes, they are. Oh, lately it's been kind of mixed in the recent elections, but the Republicans have won that state. But it has been very mixed lately. I know South Carolina is definitely way more Republican than North Carolina is. At the same time, I just think that they've had too many shows there, and people have seen them already a couple of times. That
only way I would really say that you would be right would be if you're talking about Battle of the Belts. Because that was directly this weekend, and it was billed to be a major show like Clash of Champions, and that was hyped up.
I mean, it was a good show. I thought Battle of the Belts was a good show.
It was fine, but it was
fine. I mean, I think when you have a Battle of the Belts show, and again, it's my take, and I love AEW. I love what they're doing. I maybe would have done Bryan Danielson and Hangman on that show. Because if you're going to do a Battle of the Belt show,
Yeah, that was.
You want your heavyweight champion to be on that show.
People thought that was going to be what was happening,
and the tag team champions too. They were not on that show either. It was it was weird.
That's why people bought tickets for that show. They thought it was going to be those two at that show.
I mean, I get they were at Prudential. I get it's New Jersey. It's a big market. I get it was a debut on TBS. But at the same time, I think you could have swapped some matches out. I think you definitely could have taken some of them like the women's match was really good. I thought it was fine with Riho and Britt. Sammy Dustin was good to be. That was a very last minute change, and I think they did the job. The TNT Championship could have stayed there. It was the killer was only an hour show. I just think the biggest thing is their two biggest championship belts on that company are the tag team championships and the world championship, and neither one of them were on that show. And I think it was kind of awkward that they didn't have that. I think you could have flipped the TNT Championship and put that on the Dynamite show. I think that could have been substituted easily. You could keep the Women's Championship match. That's fine. I think you could have maybe, instead of making the Danielson Page 35, whatever minutes it was, you could have maybe made it 20 minutes and fit that match on the show. Could have done it that way maybe. And try to fill it in. I just think when you have a show that's called listen, we mock WWE. They have a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules, and they had one Extreme Rules match. Like, it's stupid. It has the name of the title.
Battle of the Belts, they did have every match.
No, they had belts. No, they had belts. They had belts.
I wouldn't compare it to WWE's concept of an Extreme Rules match. Is to have a mixed tag team match. It's a man.
No, listen, like I said.
Which they actually did.
No, but I know that. But what I'm going to say is their two biggest belts in that company are tag team and the heavyweight championship. And the fact that neither one of those belts, Danielson, I don't even know what the rating was for the Battle of the Belt show. It was a Saturday night. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know if they even came out. I'm not even sure. Which I'm kind of curious.
I think it was a .23 demo and 750 overall.
Which I'm kind of curious if the fans really only got an hour. Like, that's all they really got was an hour. Like,
no, they had a house show beforehand.
They did have a house show beforehand, because I was going to say that's kind of weird. Because I know in Chicago, when I did Rampage, I know the debut of Rampage, I think was only an hour. But
no, they had Dark beforehand.
Dark is Dark. But
something.
It's almost had nothing rather than that. But but you got Punk debuting. That's worth the hour of admission. Like, that's worth the hour. That alone is worth. You could have had Punk for 20 minutes, and the crowd would have left as happy as anybody. They would have left as happy as a kid in a candy store. That would have been it. It would have been perfectly fine for that crowd. They didn't have to do anything. Personally,
happier than a pig in shit.
That's right. Let me tell you. I actually felt bad for the rest of that card.
Why?
Because that crowd was so dead after Punk came out. It was done. It was done.
Yeah, they didn't give a flying crap
they didn't
at all.
care. But you see, and it was so funny. I remember we had a conversation on the show, and I don't remember who it was. Alex might have disagreed with me, and I said, I don't remember what it was, and I said, "What is the thoughts of Punk starting the show?" And everybody was like,
"No, I disagreed with you."
Oh, it was you that disagreed, and you said, "No way, they're gonna save it." And I said, "They got to get it over with, because that crowd's gonna be nuts the whole show, and they're just gonna chant Punk's name and take everything away from whatever that roster is doing. It's gonna make everything that roster does moot." Because they're not going to give a crap. 2, they were selling the T-shirts in the
No, they waited on that.
Did they? Well, they
waited until it came out, and then Punk came out and said that they were then out there.
Everybody bought a T-shirt and then went home.
Someone showed a picture of the concession stand.
Yes, and it was
beforehand. It was nothing there. It was like it was like they were like just logo shirts.
That's what it was, and that's usually what they are at AEW shows. Which, by the way, that's another thing they really.
They might have one or two talent shirts, but
they need to fix that. They have to expand on the shirt selections when they have the shows.
It could be pro wrestling tees thing.
Maybe, but you know what though? But AEW also, I know they want to work with pro wrestling tees, and that's great. Listen, pro
They
wrestling
should not.
I don't think anymore. I think they should do their own thing now. They have the money to do their own thing, and I think after what just recently happened with them was really bad with the credit card.
That
scam.
was really bad.
That was really bad. I mean,
did you get hit by it?
I did not, and the reason, and I'm telling
did.
you. So did you got your money back though?
Well, no. What they did was they tried a couple, a couple dollars. They tried a couple of them to see if it would go through. Those did, and then once they tried getting something bigger, it rejected. Like they tried Domino's for like $50, and it rejected it. They tried a couple of the websites for like $200 something, and it rejected it.
So the thing was, I last bought a shirt from them probably 6 months ago.
It happened in April.
That's what I'm saying. So I didn't buy a shirt for a while from them anyway, and then I changed my credit cards anyway, so my credit cards were gone. So that's why I did. And usually when I do buy the shirts, what happened?
Did you get a letter?
I got a letter, but I didn't get.
They probably got your old credit card number, because if you got a letter, they got your information.
That's fine. They probably got my old credit card number, but probably nothing went through because my credit card is gone. It's shot. So it's. But usually, what I like to do, anyways, I go on eBay and I buy the shirts there. And there's even times when I will do this. I will buy T-shirts that, if they're somewhat used, I get them and I completely wash them in the wash.
Did you know Adam Cole? He loves eBay.
Did he tell you that personally, or was that a?
Yeah.
Okay.
He loves eBay.
Like honestly, like this shirt, I got this shirt. Like this is a $25 shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Off of eBay.
I got on eBay for $7. $7. eBay Bay. And I got my Briscoe shirt too. From you were
yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
We were at Juniors.
Who did you order a shirt from? And you offered them like a price and they said no. You offered them a couple dollars more and they said no.
And they said yes. I think I offered them like $8 and they said no. And I offered them 11. They were like, okay, fine. It was like this shirt I got. This is a $25 shirt. I got it for $7. And it was, and you know what it is? I don't give a damn if it's been worn. What you washed it. That's why you have a washer and a dryer. You wash you wash new clothes anyway. Well,
I don't.
Like that's the thing. Like I'd rather just buy the shirts on eBay for $9 than spend $30 on Pro Wrestling Tees.
I have to say, the most fun I have is listening to you try and talk about ways to get things cheaper.
Who, me?
Yes.
Always.
You are so elaborate about it. Like, first off, I found out the company that the Islanders get the stuff for their silent auctions, their signed stuff from,
eBay.
And no. They get it from this company up in eBay. They get it from this company up in Canada. AJ Sports World. It's legit. And they get it there, and it's for a silent auction, and everything goes to the Islanders Children's Foundation. I paid $225 for a picture. And then I had it reframed because their frame was dog shit. I found out the website. The same picture they're selling there with their shitty-ass frame that they probably got for $2 at Michael's. AJ Sports.
Hey! I buy the expensive frames at Michael's. First off, I buy the expensive. I don't buy those $2 frames. Those things, you put that on your wall, that thing breaks. It's shot, dead, done, gone.
AJ Sports World had it for like $30.
No, if you do get a frame at Michael's, please buy the expensive ones. Don't buy the cheap ass ones.
If you have signed memorabilia, do not go to Michael's. Go to an actual framing company and get it framed.
Nah, I'd rather
professionally.
I'd rather not.
Cheap and disgusting.
I mean, first off, I have a son that I need to save my money for, so I like to. I sacrifice.
I gotta get used to you saying that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have to sacrifice somewhat, but to me, it was actually.
Don't buy your $9 T-shirts for a month, and then you can pay for it.
I can't remember let me tell you, the last time, I think this might have been the last shirt I bought. I bought this shirt in August. Was the last time I bought a wrestling shirt.
Did you buy it on eBay?
I did. That's all. I'm not buying on Pro Wrestling Tees anymore. No way.
No. It's safe if you use PayPal.
If you're gonna buy an AEW shirt and you don't want to do it on eBay, then go buy it on AEWshop.com. Go buy it on there then, because what I've heard is, AEW saves your card information. It doesn't go to Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees just makes the shirt from the order. AEW goes it through them. The money goes to AEW.
The exact reason is that what happened was they targeted the ProWrestlingTees.com checkout page. So the one for AEW shop is a separate page. Does not redirect you to Pro Wrestling Tees. So because they went through Pro Wrestling Tees, anything that was done on Shop AEW was safe because it's a different checkout. So if you ordered a New Japan shirt, you had to go through Pro Wrestling Tees.
That's correct.
And you put yourself in danger. If you ordered a Kenny Omega AEW shirt and you did it on Shop AEW, you were fine.
And the thing that drives me nuts, and with Pro Wrestling Tees, man, they charge like $10 more for the freaking double-sided shirts. Like, why? Just charge everything.
It
like,
takes a lot to flip it over and bring down the heat.
Like, I mean, go first off. Actually, I gotta tell you something. I want a New Japan shirt recently so badly. The design.
I want to pay $50 for a Suzuki Gun shirt. I'm going to do it.
You tell you, the New Japan designs lately on Pro Wrestling Tees. I haven't seen a nice shirt from New Japan from them in probably a year and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm dead serious with that.
Why don't they have a legit Suzuki Gun shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees? That would sell the hell out.
I want a Hiromu shirt, but like the designs are just.
On there.
Are you talking about the one that's like all rainbowy that like has a lot going on?
I don't remember.
With the bomb and stuff like that, with the time bomb thing going off on the front. Because like the only thing is with Hiromu's shirt is, and I know you're very much against this. There's two things you don't like. I know this about you. You don't like when the wrestlers' faces are on the front, and you don't like when there's a lot going on. Like Hiromu's shirts have so much going on. It's like
they do. You're not.
It's so crazy. I do like the new Red Dragon shirt.
That is gorgeous, by the way. I love that shirt.
That's on eBay in the next 6 months.
Where's it going to go?
eBay or Macari. Or Macari. Macari's another one. Macari's another one. And I've told you for years. Go on eBay.
Where?
You heard what I said. Shut up, eBay Bay. You heard. Go on there or go on Macari. I've told you this. Find a shirt you like, get it. When it gets home, you put it in the washing machine, you wash it, and it's done. You can wear it. It really is that simple.
Go look at your phone. Tell me what you think of that shirt.
Let me see. Optimum sent me something. I know this is excuse me. We have to get to AEW eventually. I guess we might skip this commercial break.
Shop AEW. That counts.
That was one of them that I liked.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I think it could be a little bit more. I think it looks a little too plain for me.
I don't think so.
I don't have that, and I don't have an LIJ shirt either, which I'm very much long overdue for one.
I do.
I need a bullet. I have a Bullet Club. I have the Statue of Liberty Bullet Club one.
I do too. We both have that. We got the same show.
I have that shirt. I wear it for pajamas because I like the Young Bucks, but I'm not like uber over them like you are. Like I love the Young Bucks, but I'm not like uber. The best is still Chase Owens. I gave you $5 back for buying me that Chase Owens shirt at Hot Topic. That was awesome. I said, do they have a shirt? Any shirt in clearance? And you were like, yeah, they got Chase Owens. Do you really want Chase Owens? And I'm like, how much? Lyle goes $5. I said, yeah, get it for me. And then it got ruined in the wash. And then, but you said to me before, you were like, I know it's $5. You really want to wear a Chase Owens?
Yo!
What?
This
So we're not going to go to break, by the way, Speedy. So no.
This El Phantasmo shirt.
Yeah, well, doesn't New Japan World have a store? But you gotta buy it. You gotta buy it with shipping and stuff like that. I think, right?
I haven't heard from it, Token Shop, but it's not that it's expensive that I don't know about, but it's they don't have a big variety.
Speedy, do we have to go to break? I just want to ask you, and then we do have to go to break.
I don't know.
Oh well, I'll wait for Speedy to answer. No, okay, cool. So But I'm just saying, in general.
I sent you the shirt.
What?
Look at the damn shirt.
What shirt? You sent me a shirt?
Yeah.
You didn't send it to me. Do you realize where I have a newborn at home? Do you realize how my IQ from doing like the songs and doing everything I do with him, like my IQ's gone down like 100 points since he's been born because I gotta do gibberish talk with him? I think you get it, man.
It's really didn't go down 100 points after you met me.
That is a nice shirt. What'd you say?
Your IQ didn't go down 100 points after you met me.
That went down 150.
Damn, how high was your IQ?
Very, 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 very high, actually. Probably past the norm. But no, and I do have to check out, by the way, what's the store? Wrestling Universe. I have not been to the Comac one yet. I know that there's a new one in Long Beach too.
I like the Comac one.
I've been to the original one. Mark took me to the original one in Flushing, which is where they get most of their signings. Most of their signings do go there because that is their original location. At times they go at the
it's closer to New York City.
That is true, so it's easier for them because they're doing shows. Some of them will go to Comac. Like I know Kurt Angle's been to Comac, Mick Foley's been to Comac, Kevin Nash has been to the Comac one. So they get some good ones. The Long Beach one, only a couple I've gone to. That's really a brand new one.
The Long Beach one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very brand new one. But I do need to go to the Comac one. I think maybe in the next few weeks I'll get out there. I just gotta find time. But I think when we getting back to AEW for a second, do you like the idea of Archer being the next contender, or was there somebody else in mind that you thought maybe deserved it?
I have no problem with it to make him look stronger.
Yeah, it's going to be on Dynamite. I'm sure the match will probably be on Dynamite, not Revolution, unless they wait 2 months. Did you mute yourself? You muted yourself.
It does it sometimes. It just mutes me. I don't hit it. It just mutes me.
It's probably telling you to shut up. But anyway, go on.
Please shut the hell up.
Also, your Hammerstein card looks great for GCW.
Yes. So what time are you gonna get there?
I wish. I freaking wish. Let me tell you. I'm gonna order it on pay-per-view. You know. Speaking. They added Cardona and Janela. I'm wondering who Gage is wrestling. Having said that, I want to get your take on the Briscoes FTR stuff. Because FTR has finally rebutted to the Briscoes. And FTR has basically said, hey, we went to your house. Why don't you come to ours? And there have been reports that the Briscoes have signed with AEW.
Cowards.
Who?
Briscoes. They won't go to
Oh,
AEW.
shut. Are you? Yeah, okay. Says the same team.
They're afraid of the liberal North.
Yeah, okay. Says the same team that literally jumped them after a match with the Kingdom OGK after a 25-minute match. Which, by the way, doesn't it seem like everybody loves to jump the Briscoes after they have a really tough match? God did it. Enzo and Cass did it. The FTR does it because I guess they're too scared to fight them 2-on-2 when they're healthy and fully ready to go. I guess it's the only way they feel they can get an advantage. But what is your, in all seriousness, joking aside, we both know that match could be gold with FTR and the Briscoes. Like with those two tag teams, I think that match, it's a no-brainer for Khan to make it happen. It should happen. And if
they're going to drag it out, it'll probably
happen.
happen.
And that's smart, and that's how Tony does. But in your eyes, you think that would be an excellent match, though.
I know you're saying this or asking this because you want me to say yes because you love the Briscoes and you want me to say
no. I love that. No. I love FTR too. That's why I think it'd be a great match.
You want me to talk about your favorite teams and how good you think it would be, right?
No, but you're going to probably say not. I know you because you're.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was trying to screw you.
Oh,
I think it'll be fine.
I mean, I think it's a match that, in all seriousness, I think the two are very similar styles. That I think when you look at the both of them on the mic, I mean, first off, what Jay does all the talking and Mark is hysterical. Because, like I said, when we talked with Tayshel about it last week, when Jay got the door thrown at him, and then Mark said, "You're a hero." I'm so honored to be in your presence because he had a door smacked on him and he survived it. and then you got Dax and Cash, which you could picture Mark saying that to Jay is like it's comedy, because Jay says to Mark, he's like, "You're being facetious," and then Mark's like, "I don't know what that means, but you're a folk hero." And then you got Dax, you got Dax and Cash, who can go on the mic as well. So it's like
they're pretty good on the mic.
That's what I'm saying. So when I see it, and I think it's really something that I think Revolution is when it's going. Personally, I think it could happen this weekend next week on Dynamite when they debut. This is the time to do it because you got FTR, right? Who are being, with their bravado, they're all high and mighty, right? They're having a match against the Nightmare Factory, with Arn Anderson's son, and who's the other guy that's wrestling? His tag team partner.
I don't know.
Yes, come on, man. FTR is fighting them next week. Remember, FTR challenged them.
Oh yeah.
They're fighting. Who's it that they're fighting? It's let me see who's in the Nightmare family. Hold on a second. Nightmare Factory. Let me see who are the members.
Sean Dean?
Yes.
Wait, no.
No, it's not Sean Dean. No. What was his name? Factory members. This is really bothering the crap out of me. I thought you'd be more prepared for this.
Who, me?
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, FTR challenged them in the back for the day. Yes, Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson. So Brock and Lee are fighting FTR next week.
So the match will be 5 minutes, okay.
Well, hold on now. But you see, this is the catch to the whole thing.
Oh.
If you're gonna debut the Briscoes to screw FTR to lose to a team that FTR should beat, wouldn't that be the time to do it? Because everybody's thinking Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson, they're gonna get their ass kicked.
Is it for the AAA titles?
What happened?
Is it for the AAA titles?
No. But they basically mocked them. They basically said, Cash said to Brock and Arn, he says, "I'm gonna wrestle basically your boy." He said, "Your boy's gonna wrestle the man that you wish was your son." Okay? So do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they're going all high and mighty into this match. It should be a cakewalk for FTR, right? Like, it should be easy. But then I feel like there's going to be a swerve where, like, the Briscoes are just going to show up and screw them. Like, I feel like that would be an ideal thing to do. I think it makes sense. You're going to do it, right? Because people are thinking, oh, they're going to squash the Nightmare Factory next week. They made fun of them. This is when you're going to, it's like, this makes sense. If you're going to screw us and jump us after a match, well, we're going to screw you and jump you and make sure you lose your match. So it's like, I don't know. But, because I know we have to move on and get to some other stuff. What were your thoughts on the ROH invasion of Hard to Kill with PCO?
That was great. I like that.
PCO had.
I don't know why the hell PCO was in there though. That was random as shit.
I mean, he signed with Impact, so he signed with them. So he signed with them. It was Vincent. It was Vincent, ODK, which is Mike Bennett, and of course Matt Taven, and PCO, and Maria showed up, of course. Which is weird because Vincent and Matt Taven just had like a massive 1 year rivalry and they couldn't stand each other. And now I'll say they're working together. And then Jonathan Gresham was a guy that was basically, they said, somebody, I forget who said it to him, they basically told him, hey, you're part of this invasion too, and he was insulted by it because he said, no, I had no part in this whatsoever. And I actually think Jonathan Gresham in the story is telling the truth, that he had no part in this, that he's on his own now and he's being his own person.
I agree.
I like...
Or he's working everybody and wants everyone to think he's not, so he can come back later on.
I mean, he's all over the place right now, Gresham. He's doing
exactly.
everything. He's doing GCW. He's doing Impact. He's doing
that's going to be a great match.
Who's Gage wrestling at Hammerstein yet? Do they know yet? Or they haven't picked it yet.
Homicide.
He's wrestling. Is that confirmed at Hammerstein?
Yeah, I believe they said the last show.
Or was that? Or was that? Is that the Chicago? Is that the Detroit show that he's doing that?
Hold on.
Because I think the Detroit show's the week before.
No, I'm pretty sure it's him versus him there.
And I know you're getting Ruby and which.
Yeah, Ruby Soho will be there.
Tayshell said that last week that look out for Ruby and GCW. She said that in the comment section, and she was right. She's facing Allie Katch at Hammerstein, which is going to be. I'm wondering what Effie's going to be doing. I'm sure Effie's going to find a way to screw Matt Cardona probably at some point in that match.
Well, it's Mark Cardona and Joe Janela. That's going to be a great match.
Yes, it is. And that's all because of the whole thing with Chelsea Green and everything that's been going on Pro Wrestling Tees and the pictures and everything like that. I'm very upset I can't make that show. Obviously, I have other priorities, and with COVID and stuff going on, I have to be very cautious. And it's a very, very it's a very tough thing that I have to miss a show like this. But hopefully next time, and I'm going to 110% guarantee you they will come back to Hammerstein because they sold out that show in a matter of days. So they will be back at Hammerstein. I'm not concerned about it. I'd say if they could do it during the summertime, that'd be awesome.
I think they sold out all the pairs day of. And there were a lot of random.
There were a lot of random one-seaters, I know, and they got all those sold out too, which is pretty impressive.
I think Brett Lauderdale made a tweet saying that if people bought it, he's going to do something for them. I don't remember what it was. I'm trying to find the name of the show. It's for GCW. I'm forgetting it.
Just type in GCW Hammerstein. They'll pop up. But they're definitely going to be back in New York City. 100%. This is a market that they're going to take with them now. And it's going to be a great market. That show's going to kill at Hammerstein.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's no reason that Lauderdale wouldn't come back to Manhattan. Like, there's no reason. And if he were to do it, he should do it during the summertime.
So the card so far is I don't know if this is correct or if it's maybe some of them which I haven't made official. Ruby Soho versus Allie Katch. Matt Cardona versus Joey Janela. Team Bandito. ASF Bandito and Laredo Kid versus Team Gringo.
Yeah, that's awesome. They got Laredo Kid is awesome.
And then it's the ROH title. But Moxley is going to be there.
So I guess Gage doesn't have anything yet.
I know I heard that he's facing Homicide there. I don't know if that's.
I think that because I remember I saw he was facing Homicide.
Maybe it's not official, but it was mentioned.
I think he's facing him at another show first. So I don't know, but obviously Gage is going to do something. He's their biggest attraction. This is arguably their biggest show they've ever had. I mean, this is their biggest show,
attendance-wise. Yeah,
it's also in the market that it's in. It's in New York City. I mean, that's why if you're Lauderdale, you're gonna make New York City a market for GCW now.
Well, the Briscoes will probably be there. They're the
Briscoes will be there defending the belts.
Maybe Leo Rush.
Possibly, it's because it seems like I know Leo's. I don't know what he's doing right now. He's away. It seems like that Jay Lethal has kind of replaced him in that story with Dante Martin.
He could have COVID.
Possibly. I mean, he hasn't been there for weeks though.
Well, Dante and him weren't on for weeks, so we don't know.
Well, I mean, it seems like Jay Lethal has taken the place of him for now, which is totally fine.
Could be just temporary.
Jay Lethal wasn't really being utilized except for the TNT match. So we got a few more minutes left before we get to our finishing move. We have a couple more things. We wanted to get to Mickie James. Thoughts on that, one, and two, thoughts on Moose saying what he said about Roman Reigns on Twitter.
You're talking about when he said he wanted to wrestle Roman Reigns?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to shut the hell up. No, there's very few people who WWE would actually give a crap enough about to have a match with Roman Reigns, and Moose isn't even in that stratosphere.
So you don't like Moose at all as a wrestler?
He's not in him. Okay, if they really wanted to have cross promotion, have Roman Reigns versus another company's big star, who out there are they going to try and get? Oh, before Moose. Let's go one by one.
Are we talking about only an Impact, or are we talking about other brands?
Anywhere.
Okada.
Like-
is one. Probably Jay White is another one.
There are so many
They
bigger
had
names.
Ibushi in the building.
There were so many bigger names than Moose. Like Moose is good.
I mean,
but
Moose did have a very good. I'm listening. Moose is not a big name, and you're right. He's not. But I think
he's not a big enough name to make WWE
growing,
give a
but not
crap.
there yet. He's
He's
growing.
never
but
gonna get there.
Yeah,
He's never gonna get there. He's on Impact. He's never gonna
that's
get
the
there.
thing. I mean, he had a great match with Omega.
He did.
He
But he's
really
on
did show up.
Impact, and that is a major crutch. That is.
No, but I mean, so
it's gonna hold people back.
no, I mean, so what is your thoughts on Mickey James cross promoting? And apparently, the report that there's other people that are going to be involved in this from possibly Impact.
I don't believe it.
Being in this world, but I don't see it. I'd be shocked.
The
But
only reason it's happening, is because one, WWE needed more women. Two, she's not signed full time there, so she can do it.
And they spoiled the whole Rumble WWE. All the surprises.
No,
are gone.
there's still a lot of names that they didn't announce.
I mean, but they put like Lita in it, and like
Yeah, that was dumb.
Why don't let it be a surprise? Why do you got to spoil that for us? And now she's on SmackDown tonight too.
Probably because ticket sales were not as high as they expected.
Well, I mean, listen, I understand WWE what they're trying to do because their attendance killed it at Minute Maid 2 years ago. In 2019, yeah,
2020 early.
2020, right before the pandemic, their attendance killed it. They did great with attendance
Because there was no pandemic.
Yeah, it was what it was. And now
we have pandemic and it's COVID, and the Omicron is really bad.
And it's also in an enclosed dome stadium in St. Louis, so it's kind of a very difficult thing. What now? Look, and that segues into our Roman Seth conversation. To me, I'm intrigued by the. First off, I will say this about Seth. I find Seth to be very funny as the way he is now. Like the whole laughing thing is. I think when he laughs, it's hysterical. Like, I feel like Seth is the kind of guy that can really play a lot of parts. I do. He could be a heel. I like him more as a heel. And he could be a face too. Seth and Roman have a lot of chemistry. I think this could work. Obviously, Bobby Brock is the big match. That's the match that everybody, including myself, has been waiting years for. Like, WWE is really setting this up to be a really good card. It's a matter of, will it come to fruition? Will it happen? I mean, we had AJ and Shinsuke at Mania. Sucked.
So I don't think that is what's going to happen at Mania.
What happened at Mania?
Seth and Roman.
No, it's happening at the Rumble, but it's not.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were saying it's going to happen at Mania.
No, it's at the Rumble, which.
Yeah, I know it's happening at the Rumble. I thought you were saying it's going to happen again.
No.
Roman. The rumor is that Seth is winning the Rumble.
Yeah, Seth is winning at the rumor is, spoiler alert, Seth is winning at the Rumble, and Brock is going to beat Bobby. And
I wouldn't say spoiler alert. It's just a rumor that Seth is going to win the Rumble.
That's true. We don't know. They could change things up. Vince McMahon changes things up 5 minutes.
Also, if he's in the facing Roman, he might not be in the Rumble.
Well, that's the thing. But I like the idea of them doing this match. I do, because it's intriguing because they're putting two heels against each other. And it's even the same thing with Brock and Bobby, right? Because Bobby's technically a heel, and Brock is, what's the word? He's not a face. He's not a heel. What is that called? A what?
Tweener. But
Exactly.
He's a babyface. 100%.
He's a babyface now, 100%. So it's like kind of like, I mean, look, to me, I think Paul's going to screw Brock eventually. And go
probably
back
Mania.
Probably Mania and go back with Roman. That is this goes back to years ago at Survivor Series when Brock got screwed by Heyman again with the Big Show.
Actually, no, I don't think so. I'm changing my mind. I think he's going to screw him beforehand, a few weeks before Mania, turn on him, show that he's actually with Roman, and then Brock is going to win.
Just things that just are taking it away when Paul says, don't talk to him that way. And then even Roman says, "Don't talk to him like that. Don't tell him to shut up." And then it's interesting because when Brock was walking out at Raw, Heyman was like giving him like a smirk, but standing behind him. Like there's like little things I'm seeing where I catch it, and I go, "Yeah, we know this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when." Was this whole thing a hoax with Roman and Paul setting this up? You know, like I listen. Like I said, the Rumble to me has always been one of my favorite pay-per-views because I love the Royal Rumble match. I think it's a fun match to watch.
It's a fun concept.
I think it's a very fun concept.
But no, you're right about the concept. Big part of that concept is the surprise element and them spoiling that for the women.
I mean, they just gave away like 20 plus women on the match.
They didn't do that for the men,
and it was on. No, but they didn't do it for the men, but they did it for the women, and they just posted it on Twitter just like that. Like Lita's in it, you know, Kelly's in it, Michelle
the
McCool's
Impact World Impact Knockout Champion,
Mickey James is in it. I mean, like, why? Like, why did they do that? But then even to have Edge and Beth against The Miz and Maurice is interesting to me because it's nice to see Beth first off back in the ring. Which is cool. I mean, Beth Phoenix to me was one of the better women's wrestlers I ever got to witness growing up. So to me, I think that'll be fun. It looks like a really good card. I just got to see it come together. And there have been times where it doesn't come together. But speaking of WWE, there was a story that did come out that Triple H called Madison Square Garden to try to get them to cancel the G1 Supercard show. And that goes back to earlier when Lyle and I were speaking about MLW and success of other companies. WWE doesn't want to feel threatened. Well, New Japan and Ring of Honor kind of stepped foot into the hollow halls of Madison Square Garden and stepped into WWE's original home. And there have never been another wrestling company to wrestle at Madison Square Garden, I think, since 74, 75. It had been years. What?
NWA?
I don't even know if it was NWA. I don't think NWA ever even wrestled at Madison Square Garden. I'm not even sure. And then I know AAA was supposed to have the Madison Square Garden show, and they didn't sell enough tickets, and they wound up having it at the theater upstairs.
Still at the Garden, yeah.
I mean, yes, but when you have the theater at Madison Square Garden to Madison Square Garden, it's a very drastic kind of, like, you got to understand. Like, WWE used Madison Square Garden for a pay-per-view once, and then they used the Lions Den match between Ken Shamrock and Owen, I believe it was Owen Hart, in the theater at Madison Square Garden. So it's kind of like, it's different. I've been to both. I've been to the theater, and I've been to, obviously, of course, actual Madison Square. It's a very different place. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
I'm here. I'm just looking up the
No, it's fine.
all the wrestling shows.
I don't know if there's been one. I mean, I don't think NWA ever, because you have to remember it was territories.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I and NWA was in the South, so it was with Jim Crockett.
But they would come north every now.
Every now and then they would. But I don't think they ever hit Madison Square Garden. I mean, that was WWE's home. That was their.
You know who know? I know.
Who?
Anthony.
What happened?
Anthony Pyers, who came on our show.
Yeah, what about him?
He would know this answer.
Which one was Anthony? Was I here for that one, or was
Yes, you were.
Was he the one that was in the backyard?
Yeah.
I love him. That guy was awesome. We need to get him back. I love Anthony. But what are your thoughts when you hear about that really quickly about the G1 thing? About
I believe it. They have the track record to do it.
It wasn't even going to and I remember we were at what was it? We went to what was the thing we went to during the day that Friday for WrestleMania? It was FanFest. And we were saying it like, isn't it kind of weird that WWE is doing NXT on a Friday instead of a Saturday when they always did Saturdays? Because they were fearful they were going to lose crowd from the G1 show.
That's 100% what it was.
100% what it was. And they did the Hall of Fame and said nobody was at the Hall of Fame.
Everybody
was at the G1 show. Even though the Hall of Fame had the biggest moment of the entire night because Bret Hart got attacked by a fan. I was like, I'm just saying. So I was like,
Well, Ring of Honor would have if that didn't happen, because that happened at the exact same time that Enzo and Cass came out.
It really was actually like the exact, and everybody was on Twitter, including me. I missed the entire Saber Tanahashi match because I was looking up on Twitter like, what the hell happened with Enzo and Cass? Like, what the freak? You know what I'm saying? But to me, it was. I'm not surprised. Nothing surprises me with them. Totally unnecessary. I'm sure Triple H didn't even want to do it. I'm sure Vince probably told him to do it. But yeah, so let's get to our finishing move now. Wow, what you got?
I just want to take a moment to say congratulations to Kenny Omega. I think it proves that most people out there are not pieces of shit, because right a week after Kenny Omega had that big whole thing with assholes on his Twitter page, now he just won a fan vote from PWI for Wrestler of the Year. So yeah, a lot of people are assholes, but says there are a lot more who think he is extremely good, and he truly deserves it. Had the best year in 2021, in my opinion, too. So congratulations to Kenny.
My finishing move is going back to Clash of Champions and still trying to make sense of the concept of their two biggest championships not being defended on that show. When they could have flip-flopped things around. I think that was a mistake by AEW. I think they should have kind of fixed that a little bit in a certain way. I think you could have put the TNT Championship on Dynamite, and you could have shortened the Danielson Hangman match. Especially when you knew that match was going to be the opening match of the night on Dynamite. Everybody knew that Hangman was going to win. Excuse me, everything of that sorts. But I think that could have definitely been fixed 100% for sure. But yeah, so that's my finishing move. Lyle, that is it. Another show in the books. Alex will be back next Friday.
God damn it, I quit.
Okay. Well, first off, again, here's how you can listen to our show every single Friday and other programs as well. You can download our app. It's free. Type in WWSRN on the iPhone if you have in the Apple Store. If you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store. Type in Worldwide Sports Radio. Check it out. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope. Check us out at worldwidesportsradio.com. Always check us out. Of course, you can check out all of our stuff on Twitter as well with the website offthemat.com, everything like that. We're going to get to so much more wrestling next week. We're going to preview the Royal Rumble next week. We're going to talk about AEW some more. We're going to get into all of that. I know we'll probably, I believe, is the GCW show next Saturday or the following Saturday?
23rd.
Okay, so we're going to preview GCW, then the Royal Rumble will be the week after. So that's my mistake. The Royal Rumble's 28th. So next week we'll preview the GCW show. Alex will be back. Stay tuned for us right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network as Weapons Hot is coming right at you right now, where all the guys are going to be Jimmy Jardine, Spotty Kevin Blackman, and of course Kevin Jackson and CJ DeSimone. Always an entertaining show for you to talk about New York Jets stuff. The season has ended, so they're going to get into all of that. So we're going to log off now. Those guys are going to hop on right now for the WWSRN. For Lyle Gillen, for Speedy Petey, for Alex Lowe's, and for myself, Josh Silberg, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe with COVID. Be careful. Have a good night. We'll talk to you next Friday. Enjoy SmackDown and enjoy Rampage tonight. Enjoy all your wrestling next week. Kenny Omega, take it away.
I must bid you adieu, so say with me now if you know it. Goodbye, and good night.
Thank you for listening to Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, your source for all things wrestling and sports entertainment. It's the Worldwide Sports Radio.